Hi everyone, I'm Ann William. I run a successful event planning business here in Chicago. But today, I want to tell you how my toxic Aunt Nicole finally got what she deserved. Growing up, it was just me and my mom, Gloria. She worked 3 grueling jobs to put me through college. I'll never forget the nights I'd find her asleep at the kitchen table after a late shift. That woman is my hero. But Aunt Nicole? She's a different story. While my mom was breaking her back to provide for me, Nicole was busy flaunting her luxury cars and bragging about her high-end beauty salon downtown. At family gatherings, she'd give my mom these fake sympathetic looks and say things like, "I just don't understand why Gloria doesn't try harder. There are so many opportunities if you know the right people." Her daughters, Celine and Elisa, were just like her, spoiled, entitled, and always looking down on everyone. Last Thanksgiving, I overheard them mocking my mom's modest apartment. "Can you believe they don't even have a pool? How do they live?" they sneered. But despite them, things were going great for me. My event planning business was booming, thanks in part to my incredible assistant, Ramon. I'd just gotten engaged to James, a brilliant corporate lawyer who saw right through my aunt's facade. "She gives me weird vibes," James said after one family dinner. He wasn't wrong. During that dinner, Nicole kept pestering Lucas, James's business partner, to use her salon for their corporate events. Lucas politely declined, saying, "Sorry, Nicole, but we already have contracts with other vendors." "But family should always come first, don't you think?" she cooed, batting her lashes. Lucas wasn't buying it. Meanwhile, my mom pulled me aside one evening. "Honey, be careful. Your aunt's been asking a lot of questions about your client list." "Why would she care about my clients?" I asked, confused. "Because that's what Nicole does," my mom said grimly. "She finds ways to use people and then tosses them aside." Ramon noticed it too. "Boss, your aunt's been calling the office, trying to get info on our high-end clients." "Block her number," I said, thinking that would solve the problem. But I had no idea it was just the beginning. Nicole had a way of turning every family gathering into her personal networking event. She cornered my friends, clients, anyone she thought could benefit her. "You must let me do your hair for the wedding," she insisted to my bridesmaids. Family discount, of course. Looking back, I should have seen the signs. She was collecting information, making connections, and setting traps. But I was too busy planning my dream wedding with James and enjoying my business's success. That's exactly what she was counting on, me being too distracted to notice. The wedding ceremony was magical. James and I exchanged vows under a flawless blue sky, surrounded by roses and twinkling lights. Even Aunt Nicole managed to behave, though I caught her whispering to Celine about how her own wedding would be much grander. Everything changed at the reception. I was mingling with guests when I heard Celine's sharp voice cut through the crowd. "Mom, we've been waiting forever. No one's even taken our drink orders." I walked over to see what was wrong, and that's when Nicole pounced. "Anne, darling, your servers are completely ignoring my girls. They've been sitting here parched for 20 minutes, she said dramatically. "The servers are following a set pattern to ensure all guests are served efficiently," I replied calmly. "Nonsense. They're family. You should serve them yourself. I've always taught my girls that family comes first. Remember when I did your graduation photos for free?" "For free?" I shot back. "You charged me double your regular rate." Before I could say more, my mom stepped in, her voice cutting through the chaos like a blade. "Enough, Nicole. I've watched you exploit this family for years. You charge Anne premium rates for those photos while bragging about your family discount. You convinced cousin Sarah to do free accounting for your salon and then blamed her when the IRS came knocking. You've been using people and discarding them for decades. How dare you accuse me of anything?" "I've always been generous with this family," Nicole hissed, her voice dripping with indignation. "Generous?" My mom shot back, her voice steady and sharp. "You tried to trick Ramon into giving you Anne's client list last week. You even called pretending to be a potential investor." The entire reception hall fell silent. All eyes were on us. I noticed James tense beside me, his lawyer instincts kicking in as he watched Nicole subtly angle her phone, likely recording the confrontation. "You're just jealous," Nicole spat, her composure cracking. "Jealous because I've made something of myself while you worked like a common servant." "I worked to give my daughter a future," my mom countered fiercely. "What have you done? Taught your girls to be entitled brats?" Celine burst into theatrical sobs while Elisa whipped out her phone, recording every word. Some guests exchanged uncomfortable glances, but others were riveted, clearly entertained by the drama. Later, Lucas pulled me aside, his expression grave. "Anne, you need to hear this." He explained how he'd overheard Nicole and her daughters plotting near the bathrooms. "We'll edit the video to make Gloria look unhinged," Nicole whispered. "Then we'll post about how Anne treats family at her own wedding. That'll teach her to disrespect us. Her fancy clients won't want an event planner who can't even manage her own wedding." "Mom, can we mention how she ignored us all night?" Elisa chimed in eagerly. "Perfect, sweetie. By the time we're done, her precious business won't recover." I felt my stomach churn, but I forced myself to stay calm. My wedding day had turned into a battleground I hadn't even known I was fighting. 3 days into my honeymoon, the storm hit. Nicole posted a heavily edited video of the reception, twisting the story to paint herself and her daughters as victims of my mom and me. "We even found roaches in the wedding cake," she sobbed in her post. "My poor girls were traumatized. I can't believe my own niece would serve such disgusting food at her wedding." The comments exploded. My phone buzzed relentlessly with notifications. "Just got a call from the Hendersons," Ramon said, his voice tight. "They're reconsidering their daughter's Sweet 16 booking after seeing the video." Mrs. Patterson, another major client, also called. "She's worried about the country club charity gala next month," Ramon added grimly. James was furious. "Look at these posts from your cousins," he said, scrolling through his phone. "They're telling everyone at Brighton Prep that you serve expired food at corporate events." My inbox was filled with cancellations. I felt like my world was crumbling. Then my mom called, her voice trembling with emotion. "Anne, I just found out why I didn't get that job at Morrison Corp last year." Nicole told her salon client Susan, the HR director, that I had a drinking problem. The hits kept coming. Lucas stormed into our office, waving his phone. "You won't believe this." I looked into Nicole's salon finances and something's seriously off. She's been filing fraudulent insurance claims for non-existent flood damage. There's a clear pattern. Every 6 months, another accident. Ramon chimed in with his own discovery. "Boss, remember how Crystal Events was tanked by bad reviews last year? I traced the IP addresses of those reviews. They lead back to Celine and Elisa's phones. Your aunt's been systematically sabotaging other event planners." James spread out documents on the dining table. "It's bigger than that. Nicole's been blackballing your mom for years. She uses her network of salon clients to spread rumors and ruin opportunities. It's how she kept Gloria from landing management positions." The puzzle pieces finally clicked into place. Nicole had spent years using manipulation and deceit to maintain her facade of success. But in trying to destroy me, she had overplayed her hand. Lucas filed an anonymous tip with the insurance investigators. Within weeks, 2 men in suits were poring over Nicole's salon records. "Have you seen this, Mrs. William?" one asked, holding up a document. Extensive water damage claims but no repair records. Multiple claims with the same pattern. Ramon worked tirelessly, showing unedited wedding footage to my elite clients. "See the timestamp jumps? They spliced the video to remove context." Classic manipulation. The investigation into Nicole's salon spread like wildfire. Former employees came forward. "She made us lie about flood damage," one revealed. "Said we'd lose our jobs if we didn't back her up." Brighton Prep's administration discovered Celine and Elisa's cyberbullying activities. The principal was livid. "They used school computers to post fake reviews. This is grounds for immediate suspension." My cousins lost their positions on the student council and cheerleading squad. Their carefully crafted social status crumbled overnight. But Celine and Elisa's feeble excuses didn't hold up for long. "But Mom said it was okay. We were protecting the family business," Celine whined when confronted about their actions. The real breakthrough came when Nicole's former victims started finding their voices. Salon competitors, ex-employees, and even family members began to share their stories. She blacklisted my catering business because I wouldn't give her free services. She spread rumors that got me fired after I opened a competing salon. She guilted me into offering free accounting, then blamed me when the IRS got involved. As their stories spread, the house of cards Nicole had built began to collapse. Meanwhile, my mom finally got the break she deserved. Morrison Corp's CEO personally reached out to apologize. "We've learned about Miss Nicole's interference. Your qualifications speak for themselves, Gloria, he said, offering her a senior position. Nicole's salon was shut down pending investigation, and the insurance company demanded every cent of the fraudulent claims back. Please, Anne, you have to help me. I'm your aunt. I'll lose everything, she begged in a voicemail. I deleted it without listening to the rest. That same day, I signed the lease for my company's new downtown office. Moments later, Ramon burst into my office, grinning. Nicole's salon just filed for bankruptcy, and guess what? Brighton Prep wants us to handle their graduation ceremony. The family members who had stayed silent at my wedding suddenly found their voices, too. We always knew Nicole was toxic. Remember how she tried to ruin Cousin Sarah's accounting business? Mom and I celebrated over dinner in her new corner office overlooking the city. She raised her glass of champagne, a triumphant glint in her eye. I saw Nicole at the grocery store today. She looked terrible. Asked me to convince you to help with her legal fees. What did you say? I asked, already smiling. I told her Kate's a better teacher than any of us could ever be. We clinked glasses, celebrating not just our success, but the poetic justice of watching karma unfold. Sometimes the best revenge isn't confrontation. It's stepping back and letting toxic people drown in the consequences of their own actions. Looking at my mom, both of us thriving while Nicole faced potential jail time, I realized something profound. Success is the best revenge. This story was an experiment about toxic family relationships and justice. Now, here's where it gets personal. When you discover that someone you trusted, especially family, has been deliberately working against you, does the length of time they spent hurting you determine whether they deserve forgiveness? My aunt spent years sabotaging both my mother's and my careers while pretending to love us. Yet when her schemes unraveled, she expected instant forgiveness. Some have called me cruel for not accepting her apology after she lost everything. But can a simple sorry erase years of calculated harm? Should we forgive toxic family members just because society expects us to? At what point do we prioritize our own mental health and boundaries over family obligations? If you discovered a close family member secretly working to destroy what you've built, how would you handle it? Would you expose them immediately or quietly gather evidence like I did? And most importantly, if their apology only comes after they face consequences, not while they're actively hurting you, is that apology even genuine? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might help someone else in a similar situation. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe for more real stories about overcoming toxic relationships and finding justice. Sometimes, the best revenge is watching fate do its work.